training and development. And when we see this thing into the different syllabus of our even the ARS also, and exactly what it is written here, that is training and human resource development. So that is a title mentioned in one of the unit when we see this document of ARS. So I will give a little bit idea about this also, so that a little bit you may get the flavor of what we are trying to discuss today. So dear participants, first of all, I would like to thank to your university and especially your Vice Chancellor as well as the current course director, Dr. M.C. Ahire. I also thankful to Dr. Manohar for giving this opportunity. Along with that, I can see in the committee there are two students as a coordinator, Mr. Padma Kumar as well as Mr. Santosh. So thank you for giving this opportunity to interact with the students of Rahuri, and definitely maybe this especially this module may be helpful for the person who is sitting here, either for the NET examination or the ARS examination or JRF, SRF, whatever their interest area is. So it may be helpful for them. So for this, with this note, I would like to start my session. And before we start the session, I already mentioned that in your ARS syllabus, it is mentioned that this training and human resource development. So how these topics is mentioned as the module here, and what the differentiations we are expecting when we are even deciding for this kind of module in the either the ARS or the NET examination. So the understanding of the wording and understanding of these things are very much important. As an social scientist students, you already aware, especially. Yeah, dear participant, is it possible that can you come with your video if there is no net issue for you, so that a light kind of interaction may be possible? Yes, thank you. Yeah. So number of students they have joined. So basically it's your interest only, based on that the university officials they organize such kind of program. So definitely your interest should be at the high level, at the morale is high, and then you may attend this program. So with this hope, I would like to mention that about this human resource management and this training and different aspects. So that is why it is important. And the reason is clear that whenever as a social scientist a student, only please. Hello, I am in the session. Okay. Okay. I am in the session. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Yeah. So that I want to clarify to you that especially in the social scientist, the conceptual is more important, and that's why based on that only you can give your answer. Especially whenever you see the question and when you see the choices, all the choices are very equal in nature. It's like when you are at the stage of the marriage, that everything looks like that to whom either in the case of bride or groom, where we can go. In the same way, in the social science also, when you see all choices looking good, and it's very difficult to decide which answer is the correct and which answers I can tick, so that I may get the highest score. For that purpose, it is important that your conceptual background is important. So simply reading your objective type questions is not going to solve. With this condition that the questions may be asked apart from your question bank. So if that is the case, then your conceptual and your theoretical background is very important. So that's why you try to understand anything in detail, and that's why the textbook is important during the examination. And especially in the ICAR examination, most of the things we are seeing that a lot of questions are coming only based on the questionnaire. But I don't know that in your situation, when you are going to give the examination at that time, whether these questions are directly from the question bank or based on the question setter what they are trying to give you. So if that is the case, if it is not from the question bank, then definitely you are unable to find out which choice is the best choice or the multiple choice. and based on that you may take the decision. That's important, and for that purpose this theoretical background is very important, and that's why the different concept, different words understanding is much more important. With this note, I would like to start, and I will share my presentation in front of you. And before that, I also say something about this HRD and this training, so that the understanding may be clear. For that purpose, again, I may come with your slides, and then it may be better to explain you. So I am putting in front of you, just only you can tell that whether you are getting my slides or not. So yeah, hope my screens are visual now. Anyone can respond, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
yes, sir.
Today I am going to discuss on this HRD training and development. And here you can see that the meaning is clear from the title itself, that the human resource development consisting of training and development part. Means training and HRD is not appropriate way to give your what I can say title. But title itself, if you mention the human resource development, in human resource development, it consisting of the training and development part. So that's a clear thing that you have to see, that the human resource development is mainly concerned with the training. But apart from that, the development aspect is also important. So in the human resource development, please think or see the things that is the training and development is important in the HRD. Apart from this, that again, one more nomenclature is there, that is the human resource management. That I will try to put in front of you so that the clear understanding may be there. So if you are simply talking in terms of the development of an individual, and based on that, again, if it is possible through the training and development, and definitely we are dealing with the human resource development. But in context of the organization, so in context of organizations, we are talking in terms of the human resource management. Human resource management, it means that a person who joined in any organization, it means from the recruitment till retirement, or even you can say the post-retirement also. These all processes are covered under the human resource management. So that should be clear in front of all of us, that what is the human resource development and what are the human resource management. So it means the main umbrella is your human resource management, and under that the HRD is there. In HRD, again, the training and development part is there. So, or we can say the capacity building is there. So these things are the part of the HRD, and the overall umbrella is the human resource management. So mainly whenever we talk in terms of the training and development, definitely at the individual level we are dealing with, but apart from the individual dealing, we are also concerned with the group or the team or the different colleagues or the staffs who are working along with you. So mainly in the organization, these things are very important, especially training and development, as well as if we talk in terms of the human resource management, it means from the recruitment till your post-retirement. So these all aspects are covered under the human resource management. So this is a basic difference you try to learn, and definitely some of you may be this clearance of idea about this HRD, HRM, training and development. So these things are very much clear. So my dear friends, I am just putting a small aspect, that is a national training policy, and again it is in relation of your training and development part, and that's you can see here that in the training and development part that we can mention that especially that when we talk in terms of national training policy, this was in 2012, and with the three objectives in the every institutions individual has to go on. Means whoever the employee, they are working from the class 1 to class 4, all the criteria of the employee, they have to be under this national training policy. And most of the institution nowadays, earlier it was a little bit instruct means a kind of instructions from the especially employer that whether we may give some kind of focus on the training and development for their staff or not. But now, as per the national training policy, we have to give training to all the employees from the different cadre. And that's why here the objective of this national training policy, that's to move to a strategic human resource management system to motivate, develop, enable the individual, considering him her a vital resource to achieve the mission and objectives of the department, and to accomplish the current and future goals of the department through improved individual competency. So basically, with these three objectives, this national training policy has come into the picture. And now I am coming to other side of this training and development part, that is around 2.5% of the salary budget of the ministry or the department is mainly meant for the training purpose only. So now you can see that if, let us suppose, in any organization, rupees 1 crore is the budget for the salary, then definitely 2% goes to the only training and development. So that's a major concern of this national training policy. So please, only you have to keep into the mind, no need to write down details about the objective, but you have to see that the 2.5% of the salary budget is allocated for this purpose. And that is a concern. And in reference of Human Capital Index 2017, India's rank is around 103rd in terms of knowledge and skill development. So there are a lot of opportunities and things are available in this reference also that we have to improve a lot. So that's maybe possible through this training and development. So that this is my first slides, and with these first slides, I want to clarify you that what is training, what is development, what is HRD, and what is HRM. Hope you may have a little bit idea, and based on that, if any questions are asked in the any kind of competitive examination, you are able to answer what the different umbrella under which the different category is, how we can define. Now you already know that how the education and training is going to be differentiated, and you already know that the difference between what the education and what the training is. But the minor things you have to kept into the mind here, that whenever we talk in terms of the education, whatever the procedures you are adopting, especially in your selection process and when you come for the university or the colleges, what the procedures and what the things are continuously moving, that is a kind of education which you accept. So mainly the education is mainly concerned for a better life. A person who wants to give something for the society, then definitely they may be literate, they may be skillful, and for that purpose this education is. And definitely with the education, definitely if you are a MSc or the PhD scholar, then definitely you are going to get the certificate from this education prospect. And the socialization, it means for the your survival in the society. And in the same way, what the literacy means, what the skills means, what the certification means, and what the socialization means, it is already mentioned here. And in the training, again, it's a little bit knowledge, skills, attitude, experience, and the behavior. These the 5 components are including under this training part, and how we are going to enhance. And basically in the training, we are much more going in deep, or a specific task or a specific responsibility. Based on that, if you are getting something, that is your training part. But if you are going with the broader perspective, then definitely education is considered. But narrow sense, your thing is very narrow. Your task is very specific in nature. If you get something or some information and other things in respect of your knowledge, skills, and attitude, that is the training part. So through these slides, in these the education and training differences, we may try to differentiate, and that the more skills are oriented towards this training in comparison to the education. Definitely skills are also part of your education, but in training it is a little bit more emphasis. And that's again the different update information, your self-confidence, your job performance, your self-efficacy, your better rapport, your greater competence, better job performance. These are all are the things related with your training. And this give you clear-cut idea about what the training is and what the education is. Little bit more idea about the education and training that it is mentioned here, and this gives a kind of idea that how you can define the education and how you can define the training. And that already you know that our Latin word, it is the educare, and through which this word make for the education. And especially in our examination system, we are generally seeing that this type of questions are also asked in the examination. Education is the Latin word, training is the this Middle English word, and it is a kind of training, it is kind of educare. So like that, the number of questions may be asked in the examination. And this is basically the human rights nowadays in the constitution. Also, this provision was given to fundamental, a kind of through the constitution. Also, the education is important for all. And the HRM strategies, the other aspects, wide and a broad focus, but this is a very narrow and sharply focused and very specific in nature. These all words are important. Narrow, it's specific, it's your sharply focused. So these words indicate that it is related with the training. So whenever you see that is a very specific, it's training, it's very broad, it's very wide, then we may say it is the education. And this is for the future, definitely. And this is for the specific job. So when we talk in terms of the training, the specific job we are talking, but in terms of the education, it's for the future, for the life, for the society, like that. It is the long term, another differentiation is there, but it is the short term. It's deal with the mainly theories, philosophies, principles, law, rules, regulation, and concept, but it's mainly deal with the application. So these all the points which I enlisted here, these all the points are the part of your questions when you are giving any examination. So characterized by the lecture, mainly in education, it's concerned with the lecture, but it is long, apart from the lectures, group discussion, field trips, and the such methods, a lot of methods that indicate or that give you expertise in the application part that is concerned with the training. And ultimately you may get the certificate, diploma, degrees based upon the examination. That is another aspect where much more focus on the examination, but here they are much more focus on the participation. Even some of the training program, they are also giving some kind of short test, and they are also providing some certificate, but it is not a very foolproof or the necessary requirement for getting the certificate. So that's in the training, that is the unique feature, but in the education, that's mainly based on the feature. Yeah, if you want to ask any question, you can. Otherwise, you can mute yourself. So I think now we have a clear-cut differentiation between the education and training, and all the points which I enlisted here, that is questions may be asked in your examination. Now, the other aspect that is giving a clear picture about this training and differentiation between the education, that you can see here, the larger area is related with your knowledge. You can see this is the area, and but the skills getting the less space. But here in the training, knowledge get less space, but the larger area is covered under the skills only. So with this definition, you may understand that in the training, much more focus on the skills, but in the education, much more focus on the knowledge. So through this, you can, that's why in the definition also, that differentiation also that is mentioned here, education gives more of knowledge and less of skills, whereas training promotes more of skills and less of knowledge. Now, dear friends, that again, you may have one topic in this syllabus, that is the capacity building. And again, I already mentioned the training, your development, your capacity building, your HRD, your human resource management. These all are related terms. But here in the capacity building, apart from the training, that's again a kind of training and development part is there. And that's why it was defined here that the activities which strengthen the knowledge, abilities, skills, behavior of individual and improve institutional structure and process such that the organization can efficiently meet its mission and goal in a sustainable way. And for the capacity building, training is an essential component of the capacity building. That is one of the things. And for the training, what is training? I already defined a lot about the training, but even for the definition purpose, Milton M. in 1980, he has given this definition that aiding employees to gain effectiveness in their present or the future work. So through the training, it can be possible, and it can be developed by the different habits, and that habits are your thought, your action, your skills, your knowledge, and the attitude. So these three things, these different things may be helpful in understanding or in developing your effectiveness, and this effectiveness may be for the present or for the future itself. Now, the another aspect that is the most important aspect whenever you are discussing about the development. Development is a learning activity which is directed toward the future needs rather than the present needs. So in the development, it's more concerned about the how you are going to sustain your organization, sustain yourself, sustain in your peer group. So that's the development is important, and this is a learning activity which is directed towards your future needs. So that's another concern of the development, and definitely this part I will discuss in when we discuss about the training methods and the curriculum in the training process. That time that's important. That is, the curriculum is the heart of the training program, whereas the training methods are considered as the arteries and veins or the blood vessels of the training system. So basically, curriculum is the heart, and from the heart, everything is attached, as you already know, in the blood vessel system, and that is a training method. So that's also some questions may be asked from this kind of area to understand. Now, dear friends, now I'm coming on the training modules. And for modules, for developing the modules, you can see that is again, I am going to discuss in the three parts here. That is the task analysis. Whenever you are developing training module, you are already gone with a number of training program, and you have already conceptualized. And you can see in the practical sense, no need to go into the theoretical aspect, but you have to conceptualize yourself. When you are developing your concept, when you are developing your theory, so you may correlate it with the practicals and definitely in the understanding. And whenever the applied question is asked in the exams, and that time you may be giving the right answer. So even sometimes assessment and region type of questions are also asked in the examination. So for that purpose, these things are very important, that how the practical and the theory may be clubbed together, and then you have to give your own answer based on your broader view. So that's how you are going to develop a training module. And for that purpose, always see that who is your target population. If my target population is my student, then definitely as per the student, I may proceed. I may see whether their feasibility and their acceptability is in this way or not. When we are dealing with the farmers, so whether it's required the local language and how they are going to convince, whether their age factor. So a lot of things are there. So whenever you are deciding your training, that's time you may see your target population. Even when I am preparing these slides also, I may see that my clients is my student. So for the student point of view, what are the different things may be included, so that the students may give more attraction and they can see that they can be more benefited. That is the concern. And the next is the what is the task to be performed by the target population on the job. So you have to find out that why you are giving the training and what is the core of the training, and for the core of the training, whether it is matching with their job requirements or not. So your participant, when they are coming, so for what purpose they are coming to attend the certificate for the training. Most of the students, they are mainly attending for the certificate point of view. Their target is that how many trainings I may attend. So if that is the case, then there is no any kind of listing the task. But when you are going, because already I mentioned here that training is very specific in nature, very narrow in nature. So if that is the case, then the concerned employee or the concerned staff or the concerned student or the farmers, why they have come. So if their issue is that if the farmer's case, if they want to resolve the issue of the insect pest control, so how the different insect pest things we may incorporate in our training program, so that the training effectiveness is much more. So that's the task analysis is important. List the skills and knowledge needed to do that task. That is also important. I may come into the further slides. And select the skills and knowledge to be taught, and what are the different things which we try to taught. So that's another aspect we kept into the mind whenever we are developing this training module. Next is to organize the selected skills and knowledge into the suitable teaching units. That's another things, and draft expanded outlines of the modules, that what the instructional objectives, main body of the text, description of the training methods, examples and exercises. These all are part of your outlines of the modules. Your realistic examples, your information, draft the complete modules, your facilitator guidelines, course director guidelines, everything into the proper order, then only the training module is going to be defined. Your field test, your revise and finalize the training materials based on your field test. So that's these all aspects covered under design and development. So your training, what you are going to, who is your population and who is your different job profile, what the different tasks, how you are going to deal. So the design and development parts are also important. So this is the way through which you may be able to get your training module. And the other aspect that one is the task analysis, design and development, that is TDD. Other aspect is the ADD concept. So in the ADD concept, that is the assessment is there. Some of the researchers, they are giving the AID concept, and another D is for the design, and another D for the development. So assessment, design and development. So whenever we see that in the training modules AID concept, it means that we have to assess or we have to make the task analysis of the employee or the staff who is going to attend the training program, and how you are going to design the training program, or how it is related with your development part. So development is that what contents, learning methods and resources needed, where I design what will the training module look like. So this is a design and the development. So these things, words are important for your purpose. Now, training process, I am coming here. That is training process. The first step is that the training need assessment, that I already defined, that the task analysis. Here, once you define the need, and this need you already know that is a desirable condition between the expected and the actual, and based on that you may identify the need, and based on that you have to enumerate your training objectives. And once you finalize your objective, that this is my objective on which I may provide that training based on the need assessment of the participant, then definitely you are going to design the program. So what are the different things you may include in the training program, and based on that the curriculum is also important. And for the curriculum, I already mentioned, this is the heart of the training program, and that's why the number of questions may be asked in this way also. Identification of the trainers, you have to identify who are the expertise in this area and who can give, whether entomologists, whether soil scientists, where so such kind of things you may have to do in the training process. And what kind of training methods, if the farmer is there, so whether we can go for the field trial, whether we go for the demonstration. So such kind of methods you may have to identify, whether it is lecture, whether it is a group discussion. So a lot of options you have. Based on that you have to select. And next is the training implementation, and finally you have to implement the training. And once you have implemented, the evaluation part is also important. So evaluation also based on your pre, your mid, your post. So like that, the evaluation or the different in the process, task. So a lot of training evaluation is also there. So based on that, in the training process, these things kept into the mind. Now you can see here other aspect I am putting in front of you, and the reason is clear. Whenever you are going for the assessment, task analysis, that time these things are important. For whom you are going to give the training, whether it is cadre 1, cadre 2, cadre 3, cadre 4, cadre N. So this cadre may be at the operational level, this cadre may be at the supervisory level, this cadre may be at the managerial level. If that is the case, so if we are talking in terms of operational cadre of the person or the extension personnel who are working in the field, so what their role are? Their role are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that the number of N roles are there. So based on each role, what are the responsibility, what are the competency required, what the knowledge is required, what the skills are required, what kind of behavior are required. So if that is the case, based on that a person at the operational level for role 1, these knowledge, these skills and these behaviors are required. So based on that only you are able to develop your training program. So that is most important aspect whenever you are conceptualizing your training process or the training program. So you have to see in this way, then only your success rate of training program may be high. People, they says that even the 4 to 5% of the participants, they grasp something from the training program, your training program is successful. But by the process of these things, you are in the position that you can identify all these aspects and you can get your maximum, and based on that, your efficiency may be increased. Training efficiency, you are saying the 5 to 6%, it may be enhanced to the 15 to 20%, 25%, 30%, like that. Again, based on this kind of different criteria for selecting the right kind of training program, based on that only everything is possible. Even you can see that your course coordinator, your course director, they are keen to see that who are the faculty, who are the things they can helpful in identification of the topic, because you have the limited time, 1 month time. So in 1 month time, how the maximum you can give, so that the portion which are very important, that portion may be covered under the training model. So that is the way through which this training process may be completed. And whenever you decide these things, whenever you give your answer, so in such a way, if you give your answer, then definitely your assertion and reason kind of things, then definitely you are able to give the right choice out of 4, out of whatever the options you have. So that is important. Now another aspects I am putting in front of you, and these aspects are your that is the one DC Misra has given this different skill mixes of different level of extension personnel. And for that purpose, I would like to mention here that some of the staffs, they require the technical skills, some staffs require more human skills. In place of only one skills I mentioned here, I may mention that apart from the technical skills, human skills, conceptual skills, means whoever the employee, whoever the staff, they require these kind of skills for doing their own job. And this may consider as a skill mixes of different level. And different level means that I already mentioned here in this slide, that the operational level, supervisory level, and managerial level. So if this is the case, how these things are important. So at the operational level, field level personnel are there, supervisory level, middle management are there, and at the managerial level, it is the top management are there. So in the same sequence, these different technical, human, and conceptual skills are required. You can see here that the portion is very less in concept of the technical skills for the top management, but it is very much high for the field level personnel. So this is clear from this DC Misra skill mixes, that if you want to give the technical skills, it is much more needed for the operational level people or the field level personnel. But if you want to give much more focus to these top management, you have to give much more area for the conceptual skills. So now you can see for each person, different skills or different things are required. And for the field level, if it is a 2/5 of the things are required for the technical skills, but in the similar way, human skills, and 1/5 area is required for the conceptual skills. So this is wrong here, 1/10. It is the picture I draw taken from this only the DC Misra's picture only. So here 1/5 it is the part. So you can see that the conceptual skills in this sequence are required for the field level, for the middle level, and the top management. Again, it's varied based on the level of the person or the level of the staff who is working along with this training process. Is it clear? Anyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir,
So,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So the next slides I'm putting in front of you, that your teacher has, your course coordinator, director has already given the module, and this is the way through which you can develop your module. So I'm just giving an example in front of you, that your course title is E-Training Course on ICR, JRF, SRF examination preparation. And your duration is the 15th Feb to the March 10th. Your course director is Dr. M. Ahir. Your participants are the PG students. You have the general objective, you have the performance objective, you have the course content, you have the training methods, you have the evaluation. So these things you have to develop before starting your training program, and that is a training module when you are developing any training module. And in the syllabus, I can see that even for your capacity building in relation to dairy, poultry, piggery, goats, sheep, cottage. So lot of area are there where you have to develop the capacity building. And that the capacity building, one of the important aspect is your development training. And for the training module or the training process, these things are very important. So whenever you are deciding your training module, which I already mentioned in these slides also, and through this you can be able to get your idea how you are going to develop your training program. And this is called the training module. Task, design and development. Add concept is the assessment, design, development, and the other aspects I already mentioned by the skill mixes. And this is the three kind of skills are required. And I also mentioned that the lower level people, they require much more technical skills, less your human skills, and even the least your conceptual skill. But in the top management, much more needed conceptual skills, less needed the human skills, technical skills. It is highly missed in the least amount. So in that way, if you develop the training model, definitely it will be helpful in developing such kind of things. Now, training process model, there are some models are there, and you can see that in the examination maybe ask simple model. What is simple model? So here there is the main training on which you are going to concentrate, and this is the topic, and training is going to be influenced by your independent variables, and these independent variables are the participant or your organization, and what the output is going to find out here, that is your improved your participant behavior as well as a greater organizational effectiveness. So this is a very simple model. This is the input or the persons who are the stakeholders for the training, and ultimately through training you are going to get something. So this is the training process model in simple way. In the elaborated way, again the same participant, organization, and your individual as well as your organizations are here mentioned. These four things are common, but here in the training, that's attached with the system, means what kind of system, in which system you are working, what different training system may be adopted for that purpose. These all things kept into the mind. And the other aspects, when you are giving this kind of training, again you may take the feedback whether this kind of lecture is important for that kind of personality or not. So in that way, if you take the feedback and based on that, again you may make the cycle in the continuation order, then the training may be improved and your organization may be improved. So this is the elaborated model, and the elaborated model in terms of the training process model. So simple model is there, elaborated model is there. Another one is the spiral model is there. So spiral model, you may be aware about this, and that these are the training process model. Here you can see that is what is the initial expectation and readiness of any trainees, and based on that they can enter into the system and explore and selection of the experience, and based on the training event, training behavior, training method, they may be gone with the initial trial of experience, they may be reinforced, continued trial, and then internalization of the knowledge, and these internalization of knowledge through the training is helpful in the transfer of learning to the work situation, and ultimately it may improve your job performance. So this spiral model gives a clear-cut idea that when you are entering into the training system, what are the steps, and when you are exit from the training system, how the improvement of job can be possible. So again, this is the part where before training, this is the part where we can consider as the training, and this is the post-training aspect. So in these three aspects, the whole model is going to be defined. So the three models that is helpful in the training process are, that is your simple model, elaborated model, as well as the spiral model. So simple model, it's only the independent variable and dependent variable, that is the training is the in between, and for the training your organization and your concerned individual, they are your main stakeholder, and ultimately with the help of training, the improvement in the what skills are required, that can be possible through the training. In the elaborated model, two things are added, that is one system is added, another one is the feedback is added. So based on this, again the model is elaborated, and that's why we may consider as the elaborated model of the training process, and the third one is your spiral model. In the spiral model, you have seen that how the expectation of a train is, and that can be inculcated by the reinforcement, continued trial with the help of the training material, training process, training design, and ultimately it may helpful for the improvement of the job. Now the next is the model is the AD model, and in the AD model that is for the training process, that is the analyze. Analyze means you can see that what the different things are required. You can design, you can develop, you can implement, and you can evaluate. So again, this is a training process which I already discussed. This is in the 5-step model, and the models are in the this is the 5-step model, whereas the other models are in terms of only 3 or only 2. Like that, again, the different models are going to be conceptualized in the training process, where I can mention that the training need identification, like that, the 7-step, 9 steps. So like that, different researchers has given their different models. Here I mentioned for the 4 model for the training process. So this is the AD model. So analyze, design, develop, implement, and lastly evaluate. Another aspect is your extension training methodology cone. And here you can see here the cone, how your effectiveness is. The talks is effective, but illustration talks is much more effective. Picture films are better. Even the exhibits, field trials are more beneficial. Role plays are even higher level. Working with models are on the top level, and working with the actual materials is at the top. So by this way, this head cone, your theory is starting from down to the practical is up to this level. So that's why theory and practice in this extension training methodology cone, and teachers are active at this level, but the participant or students are active at this level. So what kind of model you want to give, it's again depend upon the methodology, what methodology you are going to use. So this is the hand-based practice, and here the student activeness is much more, but here in the teacher activeness, that is they can be much more comfortable with the talks and other things, and that's why this extension training methodology cone helpful in deciding this kind of training program. And you already know that is a training is a function of knowledge, skill, attitude, and attributes. So this different attributes may be in terms of the personality traits, in terms of the conduct, empathy, experience, and your self-development. And knowledge, that is your related with the extension method, subject matter knowledge, knowledge of farm, families, knowledge of farm economics. So these basically in the whole training, this is we may consider the factors for the knowledge, skill, attitude, and others are the attributes. Till here, any problem or any question you want to ask? Any question, dear student?
Sir,
Yeah.
in this training process, sir, I'm not completely clear understanding, sir. Technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills.
Actually, let us suppose if you are working as after post graduation, you are appointed as the agriculture extension officer. So if you are the agriculture extension officer, so your role is much more technically sound. Technically sound means you have to be knowledge. When you are dealing with the farmers, at that time, the requirement is that you can solve the issue of the farmer. If you farmers are much more concerned with their entomological aspect, so you have to be more expertise in the entomological aspect at the initial level. But after 10 years of the service, when you are at the middle level or the assistant director or deputy director or director level, at that time you are not going in the field because you have already subordinate. So you are not directly dealing with the farmers, but definitely you have the experience. Based on that, you have the technical expert. But now the other aspects coming into the picture. and that is your conceptual aspect, your networking aspect, how you can deal with, if let us suppose if we need the more expertise kind of thing. So how you can give expert, let us suppose assistant extension officer, when they are in the field, they based on their knowledge they are going to deal, but some of the knowledge they don't have, and new problems has arisen. So there this kind of skills are required, where I want to put in front of you, and these skills are your this human skills, means your networking, your relationship. You can consult your university professors, you can consult your different person. So that is much more needed at the middle level. But when you are on the top level, at the director level or secretary level, that time how you can manage everything. So that that level, your leadership skill, your vision skill, that at that time you may think that why all the extension officers, they may go to the farmer, why not we can use the ICT tools, why not we can use some new things, so that immediately we can reach up to all the farmers. So these all are the conceptual skills which are needed at the top level of the person who is sitting there. It does not mean the top level person who is sitting as a secretary or the vice chancellor, they don't know the technical skills and the human skills. They know, but at their point, that is the required at how we can reach up to the mass. But at the assistant extension officer, that is not concerned of that person, that how we can reach to the mass. Their concern is, I am responsible for this block, I can do whatever I can do. It does not mean that they not consult to the university professor. They does not consult to the Krishi Vigyan Kendra. They does not consult to the Atma. They can develop their human skills. But the much more needed is at the top level conceptual skills, at the middle level the human skills, and at the lower level technical skills. All the skills are required for all the employees. But in the ratio, it is a little bit different. If I am at the middle level, it means I have to make very good networking with all the officials, so that my subordinate, they may not suffer. So for that purpose, I can develop my networking, I can develop my mentoring, I can develop my coaching. So such kind of things are much more needed at the middle level, and at the top level, that how we can reach to the mass. So that is important, that is to be decided. So in the training process, when you are making any training program, which portion you would like to cover? If the person who is coming for the training at the operational level, so you have to give maximum focus on the technical skills only. If there are total 10 classes, out of 10 classes, you can give 6 classes on the technical aspect. Two classes for the middleman, means your human skill. 1 classes for the conceptual skills. So when you are making any training process or making any training program, that time you have to see that which kind of module you can put in your training program. So that is very important. 1 minute, please. I'm in the class. Okay. So with this clarification, I think you may be clear that when you are making any training module, so you have to see that your client is at the operational level, who is going to attend the training program. They are at the supervisory level, they are at the managerial level. If the managerial level participants are coming for your training program, let us suppose you are the Krishi Vigyan Kendra SMS, and there all the business people, all the person who is the fertilizer input company, this owner, they all are coming for attending the training program. So at that time, what you have to do? So you have to give them much more on the conceptual skills. So in that way, if you develop your training program, and that's why DC Misra has given these 3 concepts about this human. He has given in context of the agriculture only. This model was given by someone else, cars, and they have given this in the managerial aspects focus. But DC Misra had modified it into the extension or the field level personnel. For that purpose, he defined the different skill mixes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion?
No, sir.
No.
So if any confusion will come in between, you can disturb me so that I can give you the right answer, or at my level best, if because nowadays what I feel, my personal feeling is that the students are much more intelligent than the faculty. The reason is that they are giving much more time to their study, much more new concept. So they are very, but only thing is that based on the experience, we may handle this kind of situation when you are going into the field. So that's much more for the senior level, but at the lower level that they have their concern is that how we can handle. So that's aspect of the training program when you are dealing with. So now I'm moving further, and that is your competency appropriate mix. So apart from the training and development, capacity building, now new concept come into the picture, that is the competency. And this competency, again, in terms of the same example which I quoted right now, DC Misra, and here I can mention here CAS, you can see here. So CAS 1955, the same skills I would like to mention: technical skills, human skills, and the conceptual skills. Top management, much more, that is the conceptual skills, less human skills, and very less the technical skills. In the similar fashion, DC Misra has defined into terms of the agriculture extension context. And this competency, what I want to convey you, and this is the appropriate mix of knowledge, skills, and behavior. And this appropriate mix is nothing but at the which level, at top level, middle level, and supervisory level. Human skills are needed, conceptuals are needed, and technical skills are needed. So for that purpose, this competency is required. So for each and every individual, if you are a postgraduate, so after post-graduation, which kind of mix is required? Now you are already knowledgeable. How much skills or interventions are required in your efficiency? How much the behavior components are included? So that's concern. Sometimes apart from the research and development, some of the people, some of the students, they are telling, sir, I given this interview to this post, but I was not selected. So why not selected? The reason is here only. This is a competency mix. And this competency mix means I am the general manager, and I want to put my people into the field, and I want to sell my seed. And for the seed, selling the seed, I don't want a very knowledgeable person. I don't want the university topper. I don't want the person who having the 5 out of 5 grade. The reason is that if that kind of persons I will involve, they having their skills, especially in context of the behavior, it may be less. It may be overall the talented person or person who is having the 5 out of 5, they having all these skills, they may be selected. But even I may select the mediocre also. I may select the lowest person also. So it's depend upon my need or the job profile. I can select the person who is or either the top or the middle or the lower level. So it does not mean the lower level people is not going to be selected. Middle level people is not going to be selected. Top level people is not going to be selected. Everyone has the chances, but depend upon the competency or the job profile of the concern, whether I need the most talented person or not. That should be clear, my dear students. Number of time people, they are telling these things. Even we are also telling that this person has been selected. This person को कुछ आता ही नहीं आता है तो ये क्यों select हो गया? Select इसलिए हुआ क्योंकि उसका job profile, the person who is sitting here, he does not want very knowledgeable person. He does not want a very researchable person. But in the scientific organization, maybe the researchable person or the very high talent people, they may be selected there. But based on these competency nowadays people are going to be selected. So I don't want, or in what ratio I want. That is important. If the knowledge, let us suppose I am hypothetical, I am giving the example, 60 technical I want, 20 I want human skills, and 10 I want conceptual skills. Such kind of person I want to select. So that's my criteria, how I can judge their knowledge level, how I can judge the human skills, how I can judge the conceptual skill. Based on that, I can select a person, which person will be selected. So nowadays, we are much more talking in terms of the competency. And for this competency, again, training is important. Not for the selection, but for the person who is already in the job. I want to groom this person to the next job. So for that purpose, again, I have to see that whether what kind of persons I need. At the higher level, always we go with this conceptual skill. But at the lower level, definitely we may go with the technical skills. If let us suppose I want to promote out of 5 persons, I want to promote only 2 persons to whom I can promote. And again, I will see the job profile. In the job profile, if the middle level post is there, and our purpose is to consult much more with, we can make the networking, we can make the different organization. I am a very good person in making a networking, making a friendship, giving some party, something. So if that is attributes of Dr. Alok Kumar, then definitely the concerned person is going to select Dr. Alok only. The reason is clear that he having this kind of skills which are needed for this job profile. So this is very important, and this can be again nowadays through the training we are going to develop this competency module also. So dear participant, dear students, you have to see that, and in the training, if this is the case, how you are going to develop your training module, how you are going to develop your training process. Hope I may be clear.
Yes, sir.
Competency also clear. Your training part is clear, development is clear, your HRD is clear, your human resource management is clear. Concept should be clear. Based on that, you have to tick the marks, which is the appropriate answer, and which is the training model you are going to use it. If let us suppose in the exam like that, the question is not asking. But let us suppose if someone mention 4 or 5 lines that I need a person who is, means even not directly direct question, they will not ask the direct question. They can ask that the company needs a person who having very good networking with all the people, especially the different stakeholders for the seed production. The concerned firm, they wants to get these breeder seeds, nuclear seed, certified seed. For that purpose, and for this purpose, this is the requirement, and something. Then which person is going to be selected? A, B, C, D, like that. So if that is the case, then you have to see, and accordingly, based on your wisdom, you may find out the right answer or the appropriate answer for your answer. So in that way, if you able to do, then definitely you will perform better in the social science. Because this is a social science, this is not direct answer, it is the indirect answer, and all the answer it is more or less correct, but most appropriate answer you have to find. So that is the challenge for social science students. Now, training methods, which is meant for today's discussion, and this is the training methods. A lot of things are there. Is it comfortable if we continue a little bit more after 12:30 also?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no problem, sir.
Okay, then good. So it will be again based on our participant wisdom only we can move. Otherwise, your interest is low, and the why I will talk means the purpose of the training is not going to be fulfilled. So again, this is the way through which you can ask your question to your participant, so that you may be able to know that your participant what they want. I am really very much surprised when I am seeing at the 10:30 only 4 or 5 persons are there. I don't know what is the problem. And the problem means that whether this program is based on your interest or this is the university interest program. So if your interest is there, then definitely before 10:30 everyone should be there. If it is a university based program, then again it's not a real training program. So in that way, whenever you were deciding your program, that time you kept these things into the mind. Okay, so as a student, you have to see how you can attract your client, your participant, and that is the main agenda behind the whole discussion in the training program. So if it is not, then no. If the speaker is not going to convince along with the participants, it's better they can close it. So that's ultimately it's whatever he taught, that much is enough. But if you continue, you already know that after 30 minutes of time, it's very difficult to get the things. But if you continue for 2.5 hours, 2 hours, then definitely you have to make some kind of interaction with your participant, so that it may be a fruitful program. So that things you kept into the mind when you were making any training module or when you were making any training program. So these are the different methods in front of you. I will explain one by one. And that is the role play, business games, simulation games, game-based experiential learning in basket technique, case studies, sensitivity training, behavior modeling, on-the-job training, on-the-job coaching, team building, outbound training, So these are the different methods, and apart from that, apprenticeship, your vestibule training, your on the job, off the job, budge method or hurdle method. So a lot of different methods are there, and only you have to get a little bit clear idea about these things. And the lecture method is, you already know, that is a teacher controlled. Teacher does the talking and the student is the passive listens. What I am doing right now here, that I am talking, and students are passive listeners here. And most common forms are the illustrated lecture and the type of lecture. Illustrated lecture, where the speaker relies on the visual aids to convey an idea to the student, which I have tried to give through this illustrated lecture. So this is not a simple lecture. We may consider it as the illustrated lecture. And the briefing type of lecture, where the speaker presents the information without any elaborate material to support the idea. That is another way through which teacher can explain. Formal speech, where the purpose is to inform and entertain. That is another methods of lecture. And generally in the lecture method, questions may be asked in the advantage and disadvantage. And the question may be given minimal participation in which kind of training method. So your answer should be in the lecture methods like that. And which methods is going to be convey in a very shorter period of time. So that is your lecture method. Which method is very suitable for the large audience. Again, your answer should be in the lecture method. Like that, you have to inculcate from these slides, so what the questions may be asked in the examination. So that's art is also required for a student. And that is the reason why from the same module, same teacher, 100 students are studying, but only 2 or 3 or 5 are qualifying. The reason is that they try to get out from these kind of things or study material. The person who is very intelligent, they can see the application and other things from the same slides. So that's important. So these are the advantages. It is easy to prepare and deliver, convey in a short time, and time frame easy to determine. And here trainer centered, trainee centered, and then the trainee centered. And little bit it's bore to audience and requires thorough planning for the lecture also, and poor audience learning retention. So retention is also less. You already know that in the cone I also mentioned that is your talk is the list in this series itself. So that is a lecture method. And in the demonstration, you already know that is principle of demonstration is learning by seeing and learning by doing. And the concept of a demonstration was given by Seaman A. Nat. The number of times this question has asked. And another aspect is a demonstration is, again, it was discussed in 2 parts. That is the result demonstration and your method demonstration. Result demonstration, firstly we will discuss method demonstration. Method demonstration in mean teaching a new skills or improvise old skills. So if that is the case, we may go with the method demonstration, where we can try to see that how the participant is doing this way, this is the right way to do the any practice. And extension worker himself or trained local leaders conduct this demonstration. And relatively it is short time is required, and method is very cheap. Whereas in the real demonstration, generally to showing the superiority of variety, we put one variety in this, another variety in another plot, and that's through which we try to show them that this is a result oriented and you are getting much more production. So that's concerned with the result demonstration. And question may be asked, value of recommended practice in the local farm is what is the main from where it is a result demonstration or method demonstration. Like that question may be asked. Another question is, in the result demonstration, the farmer is the demonstrator. He conducts the demonstration under the guidance of the extension worker. So 2 things are important, that farmer is doing, but in the guidance of extension worker. But here in the method demonstration, extension worker is doing, or the trained persons are doing in the method demonstration. Like that questions are also asking. And farmers who conduct the demonstration and other farmers who build the demonstration may be benefited. That's but natural. And participants of the demonstration may be benefited. and it requires long time to complete the demonstration. As I already mentioned one example about the variety superiority, and definitely 3 months, 4 months, or whatever the duration of the crop it will take the time. That is the real demonstration, and it involves much more cost. But in the method demonstration, it is short time and cheap method is there. So this is about the result and method. Another demonstration is a national demonstration. You might be gone with the frontline demonstration conducted by the researchers on the farmer field, and it is a composite of both result and method demonstration. So sometimes may also be asked that which may be considered as the result and the method demonstration. Your answer is the national demonstration or the frontline demonstration. And the main objective is to show how production can be increased per unit area and per time, and usually followed with the high yield variety in the demonstration. And in the modest scale, it was started in 1965 by Ministry of Food and Agriculture that time. So this is the all about little bit demonstration. So one method is a lecture, and the other method is the demonstration. And now another aspect is a case study, and it is very peculiar nowadays, especially in the management students. A lot of cases are there like that. Your MBBS students also, they are taking lot of cases, and based on that they are making the study. And in the similar way, in the number of professional education, and especially the nowadays the agriculture institutions also, they are taking number of cases, and based on that they are giving some kind of solution. So in the cases, everything is there. It's a kind of situation which you going to be faced when you are in the deputing or when you are posting in somewhere, some of the organization. So the case study is mainly helpful for the both the students and instructors, and there the participation is much more. So lecture, I am talking, but you are not too much involved in the process. But in the case study, you have to study, and based on the study, you have to conceptualize, and based on the conceptualization, what the problems you find in that case, you have to give your answer, your solution. And in the case study, no solution is perfect, but maybe it depends upon the situation and condition. But through the case study, these are some of the points, and in the objective questions, it may be asked that where the participation is from the instructor as well as the student side. So that is your case study, and kind of this is the joint and cooperative efforts. And here another issue is that the students teach themselves. That can also be possible. So if let us suppose if there are less teacher and the more student, so this method may also be useful in the case study. And for the case study, again, you have to develop some kind of theory based on that, and select the case and design data collection method. And based on that, if you want to prepare any case, then definitely you have to conduct first case study, second case study, third case study. Then you have to start the writing, and then you can cross case conclusion, modify the theory, develop policy and intervention, and write cross case report. So by this way, you can write down your own case also. And case may be individual case. Maybe I am talking in terms of the how the Ambani become the top person in the country. So that's the individual case study I can put in front of you. A study of the organizations and institution, how Paytm is very popular nowadays. What are the different things, peculiarity, what the different characteristics like that. The case may be studies of events, roles and relationships, sets of individual case study, community studies, social group study. So these are the different types of case study. So I think you may get a little bit idea about this case study also. You may be already familiar in your post-graduation classes, but if any more elaborations you require, you are most welcome to ask the questions in between also. So I will not say that in the last only you can ask, but in between also you can ask the question. So this is a case study which you face when you are studying. Brainstorming is another aspect, and in the brainstorming, that is a group creativity technique. So basically, this is a group creativity technique. The number of people, they sit together and they try to solve some specific problems. And for solving the specific problems, the group who is sitting there, they can give the number of ideas, and these ideas are spontaneously coming from all the members. and then think more freely and then suggest as many spontaneous new ideas as possible. And in the brainstorming, you might be aware that no idea is, you can discard each and every idea you can welcome, so that you can understand, you can give the clear cut picture that what the plus, what the negative point of that solution, and whether you are going to adopt or not. Maybe this idea may be helpful for region X, this may not be helpful for region Y. So like that, a lot of permutation and combinations are there in the brainstorming. And the brainstorming purpose is, I already mentioned, this is a group creativity technique. So which one is a group creativity technique? 4 choices are there. 3 are the individual technique, but 4th one is the brainstorming. Then you have to give the answer, brainstorming. This is based on the specific problem. A list of ideas are spontaneously contributed. Means no idea you can discard at the first moment itself. And for the conducting the session, this is again in the green stage and red stage. Basically in the green stage, all the ideas you can welcome. And based on that, again, the next session you may go for the red stage. In that you analyze each and everything. You find out plus, minus. All the idea you can calculate one by one. And based on the best one you can select. And that is the red stage. So in the brainstorming, if someone say that what we generally do in the red stage, we generally analyze all the ideas and select the best possible solution of a given problem at a time. But in the green stage, we may welcome all the ideas in one way. So this is the basic difference between both the sessions, especially in the brainstorm. And again, some of the rules that for the brainstorming, and that is total 15 rules here mentioned. Create a safe and supportive space, defer judgment, encourage wild ideas, means even the rough idea, even foolish idea also you can include in the green stage. In the red stage, you can make the analysis. This is a not going to be suit for your purpose, so you can discard it in the analysis page. But in the first stage, you will encourage all the wild ideas, every idea. Aim for the quantity, allows preparation time built on the ideas of others. So that's again they getting their confidence also, and the people who are sitting together, their confidence is also high. But in the lecture, I will simply point out 1 or 2%. But in the this kind of thing, each and every person having the grooming capability to groom himself or herself. The time box activities: stay focused, one conservation at a time, mix individual and group work, be visual, follow a process, get into a documenting habit, allow reflection time and follow up. So these are the different rules for the brainstorming. But ultimately, because you have the limited things to learn in the this brainstorming, so these are the general questions generally asked. That is a group creativity technique, and number of ideas welcome. Again, if you want to differentiate between the green stage and the red stage, that can be possible. In the red stage, you are making the analysis. In the green stage, nobody should evaluate others' idea in any way. It means that all the ideas may be welcome in the green stage. Another method is the syndicate method. So in the syndicate method, what is the criteria? That every body may get the chance to sit in a particular team, or you can say that is a sub team, and they are discussing, and now you can see that dividing of the participant into number of groups for the purpose of discussion. That is the one thing. That is group table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5, like that. And the syndicate has a chairperson, and in each table, a chairperson and secretaries are there, and the position of which are generally held in rotation by the participant. So that can be possible. Each and every person, sometimes so one person may be chair, another person may be secretary, another person they can give some idea. Based on that, the discussion can be possible. And this is the group works on its own and with only minimum guidance from the training staff. So here teacher role or facilitator role is very, very less, only to give some kind of instruction only at the initial stage. Otherwise, for the decision making, the syndicate who is sitting together, they are enough to give the final, prepare the report and present to the assembly. And it may be in the syndicate method. Mainly it is meant for the some kind of solution for any particular problem, and it may happen in the 1 sitting also, 2 sitting also, 10 sitting also, 15 sitting also. So like that, it's again based on the subject and the concern or the issues or the problems. Based on that, it takes time, and based on this syndicate, some report is going to be prepared. Let us suppose I say that please prepare a report of the Maharashtra's state, especially in the suicidal case. So it is not easy that one day you can sit and you can decide. The different syndicate may sit together, and one person may ask about this district, another person may ask about this district. Some people, they may also sit together that there the no casualty or no suicidal case is there. So that's the what the characteristics of the such kind of farmers, what their socio-economic background. So like that, there are a lot of options are there. Based on that, you may be able to prepare a report, and that you can submit to the committee, and that based on that, the decision may be taken by the appropriate authority. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
कहीं कोई confusion है तो बताइए. You are more comfortable in English or Hindi or Maharashtra? तो मराठा तो मैं नहीं बोल पाऊंगा.
Bilingual, sir. Hindi and English.
अच्छा, ठीक है. तो अभी तक
Yes,
समझ
English
में
is
आया जो भी
convenient.
हमने बताया?
Yes, sir.
हमारा ये कहना है कि आप कंसेप्ट डेवलप करिए माइंड में. कंसेप्ट डेवलप हो जाएगा, ऑटोमेटिकली यू आर एबल टू गिव द आंसर. But if the concept is not there, then it's really very tough. At this moment, you are going to give the examination, May, June, whatever the time it may be. So if that is the case, then you have to concentrate on this kind of coaching only. That can be only solution. But if you want to guide to your juniors, so definitely you may give little bit more freedom, and you can see that you may study, so that once you develop your concept, once you develop your own aroma around you, then definitely you are able to answer anything. So in the social science, it is not very tough. Based on your mindset which you have developed during your study period, based on that you can able to answer it. Okay. Sometimes people, the students, they are not attending the class also. They feel that oh, रात में एक one night fight होगा, रात में पढ़ेंगे और सुबह जाके एग्जाम दे आएंगे. ऐसे भी 70%, 80%, 90%. आजकल बच्चों को तो और ज्यादा मार्क्स आ रहे हैं. So one night fight में they may be able to answer, but they may not develop the concept. That is the problem. So if you are in the position that you have only hardly 1 or 2 months to crack your examination, definitely you may go with this kind of coaching. But my concern to your juniors, that you may inform them that they can develop their own aroma or arena, so that they can be able to get the conceptual aspect in any questions. So now I'm coming on the next, that is your simulation and business games. It's a number of times people, they are very much confused with this. Simulation is basically a जहां आप जा रहे हो, जहां जो आपका जॉब है, उस जॉब पे एकदम एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी डन, आप उसको पहले से उसको अगर काम करते हो तो एक काइंड ऑफ सिमुलेशन के थ्रू आप कर सकते हो. And that is again, that is also available in the game also. So that is the way through which also you can train your participant. So इसको apprenticeship या इस तरह की चीजें जो है वो simulations में possible है. तो simulation में क्या करते हैं, generally it deals with the certain specific aspect of the business or administration, and the participants are grouped in the functional team, and the task includes finding the solution, and the involvement, your things are much more in this kind of simulation or the business games. And it's really giving the real life situation, और जो cases भी देते हैं वो भी real life situation में देते हैं, so that whenever you are in the job, so at that time you can take the decision. आपने जो है पूरे PG प्रोग्राम में total 25 cases पढ़े हैं. 25 cases, it means that there is 25 cases, is not only 25 cases. This one case is having the 5-year, 3-year, 6-year, 10-year experience. So such kind of experience you are learning in one case. So if that is the case, so within the 2 years, if you are studied at 25 cases, it means 25 into 2, it means the 50-year experience you have. So such kind of things are you may get from this kind of simulation. If you learn, so based on that, you may be able to handle the situation where you face in actual problem. Okay, so simulation is a real life situation where you can train is making decision resulting in the outcomes that mirror what would happen on the job. Clear hai? Next hai business games. Business games are also the case study I already discussed. Business games may also be given nowadays. You have already no need to explain about that the different games are, but the number of people who are already involved in the playing the different games, and there you can learn in the real life situation also. एक दूसरा है इन बास्केट एक्सरसाइज. इन बास्केट एक्सरसाइज में भी वही सब रहते हैं. इसमें क्या है कि इसमें जो है वो सारे प्रॉब्लम्स इसमें रखा हुआ है. कोई भी एक प्रॉब्लम निकालो, यू सिट टुगेदर एंड यू कैन सॉल्व इट. सो आपकी एबिलिटी के आधार पे जो है वी मे सी दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन यू आर, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग इट इज नीडेड. If I want to convey such kind of administrative kind of training, so I will give you the number of cases like this. So अगर 4 छुट्टियां लिए हैं उसमें 1 छुट्टी कम है, ये है वो है, so if that is the situation, what will be the answer? Because you have already the background. So this is the basket exercise. In the basket exercise generally contains a range of issues or the problems that they might encounter when they take up the prospective job. So this kind of things are also can be possible where that you may take up the prospective job before entering into the job. So a lot of things are there, and based on that the practical aspect you can find out. So ये जैसे job applicants हैं, new employees हैं, तो जब उनको promotion देना हो या फिर हमको selection करना हो, तो हम इस तरह के cases देंगे और इस तरह के in basket exercises कराएंगे, to which we are able to know that who is able to do such kind of things. So this is also very specific. It takes a specified time to decide on their course of action, and it's justify their course of action and decision taken by them in response to the messages. So if you are giving this solution, so I will ask that why you have taken this decision and what is the benefit of this decision. Based on that, I will find out that this person is going to be promoted or not, this person is going to be selected or not. So that is another way through which training method, and this training method, it means you may be trained much more. So if let us suppose total 25 issues are there in the basket, and 25 persons are sitting in the hall, and all the 25 persons they can read and study their means 2 hours time they can spend on the one case, and you can understand that these 2 hours with the 25 participants means 50 hours you will learn, means because ultimately these persons they may come on the dais and they can speak that what the different things you learn in that. So these 2 hours their study they can convert into the 5 minutes time. So like that in the such kind of training methods, you may persons maybe learn more in comparison to the simply discussing only one case, giving one case to the concerned person. So this is the basket exercise through which 2 hours case can be learned in the 5 minutes. This is the way through which in the basket exercise it can be possible. Clear? And it is designed to test the candidate's adaptive thinking, problems analysis, judgment, administrative abilities, planning. So based on that, we can find out the variety of tasks which we are expecting from the trainees. Fishbowl technique. You might be aware about this technique. इसमें क्या होता है fishbowl में ये 2 तरह के होते हैं. एक होता है वो closed fishbowl method, and another one is the open fishbowl method. क्लोज में क्या होता है कि इसमें जो डिस्कशन करते हैं वो सेंटर में होते हैं और बाकी फिश की तरह अंदर में रहते हैं, बाकी जो है वो ऑब्जर्वर रहते हैं. तो वो क्या करते हैं, वो देखते रहते हैं व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. सो इन द क्लोज्ड फिशबॉल मेथड, स्मॉल सर्कल विद द 3 to 6 members who are expert in the field of discussion, and there is no empty chair here. So whatever they are discussing, the observers they are simply listening, and this is the way through which we can learn something. And this is called the closed fishbowl method. But in the open fishbowl method, some chairs are vacant, and these empty chairs may be replaced by someone. So कोई outer circle में बैठा है, he wants to come here, they can. If someone wants to go back, they can. If someone wants to come here, they can. If someone wants to go back, so like that, this open fishbowl methods through this, this is again the simulation exercise. Why we are saying the simulation exercise, in which a small group of selected participants is isolated to discuss on a topic, while others sits around and learn. It is called fishbowl. The reason is clear. Center circle of people has a conversation. They are discussing each other, and those sitting out, that is there, they are watching. So that's why we say the fishbowl exercise. So this is the two type, closed and closed में क्या होता है कि कोई भी चेयर खाली नहीं होती है, बट ओपन में क्या होता है, चेयर खाली होती है. तो वहां पे कोई भी आदमी जाकर के, मतलब जो ऑब्जर्वर है, they can sit and they can discuss in that area. And if they want to give the opportunity to others, it can be possible in the open fishbowl. So question ऐसे आ सकता है कि if someone wants to give the opportunity, in which method it is possible. Again, whether it is a simulation games or it is an individual, so like that, group activity, so like that, the number of questions can be formed from this slide itself. And why we say the fishbowl, so like that, it looks like ball, and center the fishes are there, and the outer the people they are observing. So like that, the number of questions may be asked in that, and which methods having no empty chairs. So like that, you may be able to answer it. Next programmed instructions. In the programmed instruction में क्या है कि different problems having different frame, और इसको एक दूसरे से connect करना है. अगर आप एक दूसरे से connect करेंगे, then only these programmed instructions can be formed. तभी जाकर के ultimate solutions you will get it. If just like you can see, programmed instruction is the process of arranging the materials to be learned into a series of sequential steps. Usually it moves the students from a familiar background into a complex and new set of concept, principles and understanding. So पहले simple वाला, then you understand little bit complex, then more complex, more complex, like that. The different frames if you will attach, then ultimately what the solution is required, that can be possible. So through this method also you can learn something. So it's a kind of puzzle method. So when you are giving this kind of exercise to your participant, so a kind of puzzles are there. So within the puzzle they may think, and this gives a kind of creativity for the participant. They think so such kind of thinking or the creativity, and these things maybe find out through this programmed instruction. And this is the individualized instruction and logically sequenced small steps called, this is the frame, provision of feedback, self-pacing of the learner. So these are some characteristics for the program instruction. Experiential learning. So in the experiential learning, you might be aware about this Scopes experiential learning cycle in a 4-stage process. And this 4-stage is this concrete experience, your reflective observation, your abstract conceptualization, your active experimentation. So this is basically 4 stages are there. In this concrete experience, generally we are assimilating the information. Here we are processing the information. Here we are assimilating the information. And here we are actual implementation or experimentation. So here we are doing. So in the experiential learning, this method, what we generally doing, that based on the information assimilation, processing, assimilation, what we are going to decide it, what we are trying to do it. So this is a kind of experiential learning. So that's the another way or the another method through which you can train your participant. Another 7 model. This is the 4-stage process are there. Another model is there. In the model, the climate setting, goal clarification, experience, processing, generalizing, applying, and closure part is there. The first step is the climate set, and the closure part is the ultimate solution of this ELC. Next is the sensitivity training. So in the sensitivity training, this is another method, and again it is going to be confused. This is a T method also we say, and in this T group sensitivity training or sensitivity training, it is a group method, and we want to expertise to enhance the individual awareness of self and others. That is the way through which sensitivity training we done. This is also called Johari window. Johari. This is a two-person who give this idea about this kind of training program, where each and every person they can sit together, and this is mainly meant to understand about the team. If some team is working, so what is my strength, what is my weakness, what is my the inherent some kind of opportunity. So like that, through this method you can do it. So basically in this we can develop the encounter group, human relation, group dynamics, and this is the drama in which this was created by the in the 1946, and based on that in 1947 in the Bethel, Maine, a national training laboratories was created, and this system are very popular during 50s and 60s. And in this what generally we are doing that only for the, because the time constraint is there, so I have to in hurry. So that's why I am giving a little bit idea about this concept. Otherwise, the whole method is for the one-day exercise itself. So we can discuss a lot, so that your conceptual background may be clear. So in this training, basically what happened, that individual, they know about themselves and they are unaware about themselves. That's also the case. Means I know about me, that what kind of personality I am, but something I don't know. Maybe due to some of that's my habit, that is already a kind of habit developed in myself, but I am not aware about that. Sometimes people, they are using number of words frequently. So that's their habit, but the concerned person may not be aware also. So that is the case. So self, that is a known as well as unknown. In the same way, if you are working in the team, something I may know about you, but something I am unaware about you. So maybe you may be forcefully, you don't want to disclose such kind of thing. That is the reason why I don't know, or the concerned team member don't know. But this is the case. So this is the area where everyone knows about you, and this is the open area where each and every person, if I want to interact with you, so such kind of things are much more needed. And that's why especially in the family, when we are in the staying in the family, each and every weakness, each and every strength, each and every person know. And that is the reason why the people, they say that I know him very well. But some of the people, when you are working in the team, I am not aware about such kind of quality do you have, but your family may be knowing. So such kind of things, family, they want and they know, that is also required in the team. So this is a sensitivity training or T group training, where this training group is going to be formed, and this training group is nothing but a kind of team. And in the team, what are the qualities of that person? If I don't know, how I can get the maximum work done from that person? So that is the purpose of this kind of exercise or this kind of sensitivity training. So this area I know, but this area is known by other, but I don't know. So if he will tell that our team members say that this quality you have, this bad quality you have, if I know, then definitely I may be improve that one. And this is the area someone don't want to disclose. So okay, if he disclose, then he or she is more familiar. Some of the area where totally unaware. So that is the case where the situation is coming. Sometimes something happen in the hostel, and immediately some new person is emerged out. We don't know that this person having this much leadership quality. So if that is the case, automatically, since last 2 years, I don't know that he is having the leadership quality, but when the situation arises, he shows his leadership quality, and everyone aware. So little bit, again, this phase goes to the open area and the free area. So through this sensitivity training or T group training, this is very popular in 1950s and 60s. And the reason is clear, that if you want to work in the team, each and every person, they may be getting much more idea about you. If that is the case, then you are able to answer, or you are able to utilize maximum for the benefit of the team. So now another transactional analysis someone has covered or not? Can anyone tell?
Yes, sir.
Transaction analysis, whether you have gone with some kind of any classes
No, sir.
or it is
No, sir.
proposed to?
No, sir.
Do you have
No,
any idea
sir.
about this?
No, sir.
Okay, any faculty sitting
No,
here?
sir.
Any faculty sitting here?
No, sir.
Sir,
Professor GVS, I can see.
Yes, sir. I don't have any idea about this transactional analysis.
No, no, Dr. Any scheduled classes in this your module for the 1 month? Do you have any idea?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem, sir. So
sir.
actually, I have to go with this transaction analysis because maybe some of the other faculty they may also deal with, but maybe it may be for you only that you may get benefited if two faculties they taught this transaction analysis, then you may get the much more idea. So here, dear students, basically this is another concept in the transactional analysis. And in the transactional analysis, generally we try to understand our own and the others' behavior, and the purpose of understanding own and the other behavior to make a very good interrelationship. So that is the most important nowadays. And one of our students, he has already asked the question. That is the why these technical skills and these different types of skills. So if you understand the others, then you are able to make a very good relationship. And in the social science, whenever you are going on the top, so always these kind of skills are much more needed. Once you qualify, right now you are in the admission, but once you get the job, so after getting the job, the another aspect is your interrelationship only. Based on the interrelationship only, you are going or you serve the society or the nation in the much more better way. So that is the reason why this Eric Verne has given this kind of transaction analysis, and that is the reason why we try to understand what this TA is, and in this mainly we discuss with the interrelationship. And for the understanding of this interrelationship, we have to study it in the total 7 way. That is the structural analysis, that is the study of self and the ego state. Your transactions, that is interaction with between the people. Your life position, that is your self-confidence and confidence in others. Your strokes, that is your recognition of the other's presence. Your stamps and rackets, that is the study of the collection of feeling. Structuring time, your ways of spending time. Your script analysis, that is your study of life plan. So it's studying about you and your colleague or the person who is around you, so that you maybe have very good relationship, so that in the organization also the work maybe move smoothly. And for that purpose, first stage I am trying to deal with your ego, and it is the structural analysis. And in the structural analysis, it means I will go to deal with these 7 slides for these components of TA. And in that way, that is the first aspect is the structural analysis. And here you can see that every individual has three states. It does not mean that a child does not have the parent ego. It may be. So each individual have 3 kind of state, and you can say the behavior is in the 3 way, that he may behave in the parent ego state, adult ego state, or the child ego state. Child may have the parent ego also. Parent having the child ego also. So this is all a kind of interchangeable. Means in my personality, all these different states are there. It's again depend upon the situation. Where I may behave as a parent ego, where I may behave as an adult ego, where I may behave as a child ego. And you know what is a child? Child means childish attitude. Adult means rational thinking. Parents means caring and bombarding something like that. So these kind of qualities is. So every person having means someone is very they want to childish approach. So childish approach may be MMA, or she may not be she may be the adult person, but the childish nature he or she having. And you can see that the parent ego is of 2 types: nurturing parent ego and the critical parent ego. नर्सरिंग कहने का मतलब है आपको बहुत प्यार से हमेशा पैम्परिंग करना. आप पीजी में भी चले गए हो, खाना खाया नहीं खाया, दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर द नर्चरिंग पेरेंट. ओके, और क्रिटिकल पेरेंट वो होते हैं जो ऑलवेज क्रिटिसाइजिंग। अगर आप टॉप भी कर गए, यार तुम टॉप तो कर गए लेकिन यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप कहाँ की है, यूनिवर्सिटी टॉप तो कर गए, तुम स्टेट में कहाँ टॉप किए, स्टेट में कर गए, तुम नेशनल में टॉप कहाँ किए। सो दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर द क्रिटिकल पेरेंट ईगो, सो दे आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड. So some persons, they may have little bit more inclined towards the nurturing, someone may more inclined towards the critical parent. So this kind of approach is there. So in the parent ego, there are two types of things, that is the nurturing and the critical parent ego. Sometimes may we have in our approach also, that you have to understand. Next is the assert adult, and in the adult you can see that is the assertive, empowering, knowledge, love, respect, logic, choice, benefit, respect, balance, consequences, responsibility. So there are a lot of characteristics are for the adult ego state. And the childish ego state means they are the natural child, they are the adopted child, they are the little professors. What it means? Natural child, they are spontaneous, they are curious, like you can see the any child, uninhibited, self-centered, impatient, means तुरंत चाहिए मेरे को, greedy, ठीक है मुझे ये चॉकलेट मिलेगा, then I will do this work. So that is a natural child. और ये किसी में भी हो सकता है, एक एडल्ट में भी नेचुरल चाइल्ड आ सकता है. ओके, वो जिद्दी हो जाता है, इम्पेशेंस रहता है. But in the adapted child, just like if you adapt someone, so a kind of one is a natural birth child and another is an adapted child. So the adapted child is always guilty, fearful, anxious, inhibited, rebellious, aggressive. So such kind of characteristics are coming. Whereas in the little professor, even some small kid or even the adult, they having that their special thinking, creativity, intuitive, manipulative, daydreaming, unrealistic. So such kind of characteristics are there. So I try to put all these three slides and three different part of this slide in which I want to define the parent ego, adult ego, and childish ego. And these all things are required. And these all things are important for making a good relationship. So which is more important and which is less important, again depend upon the situation. But in the transactional analysis, we have to understand these things, and based on that, we have to be. If someone is very aggressive, so how we can go with them? So that's that there we can go with the nurturing parents, whether we may go with the critical parent. So such kind of things we have to define. And that's why in the transaction, there are three types are there. One is a parallel or open kind, means both the persons operating from the same ego. If both are working on the ego level, then there is no problem. It's best way of the communication. Okay. And if someone is talking in terms of the parent and another person is talking in terms of the adult, so this kind of characteristics is crossed or blocked transactions. Whereas the third one is ulterior, and ulterior is message is hidden. So message is hidden, it means what I want, I don't want to disclose. So their relationship is very strange. But in the parallel, if both are coming at the same ego level, that is the best choice for the interaction or the transaction. But even if someone is approaching towards the parent to child approach, or someone is approaching this, again a kind of inappropriate ego state is in case of the resolving the issues. So this is the transaction. So if you are working, if you are very parenting kind of thing, so the approach other person may also in the same way, then the balance will be there and you may be able to good interaction. So that is you may understand for this transaction analysis. Another position is the life position, and this life position is that there are four conditions are there. First condition is I am not okay, but you are okay. It means a kind of depressive characteristics you have. Means you are not very much confidence on yourself. So this is a depressive position. Another issue is I am not okay, you are not okay. So both are not okay. It's a kind of go nowhere and position of utility and despair. So this is another aspect. Another is I am okay, you are not okay. So someone is very rude, very arrogant, very dominant personality. They are like that. So they says, I am okay, you are not okay. Whatever you reply, it is not going to be accepted. But the healthy position is, I am okay, you are also okay. If that is the case, then the life position is in the healthy position. So you have to see at which position you want to serve, and accordingly, your relationship is going to be. We can see, even in the classroom, even in your hostel is also, someone is very aggressive, someone is very arrogant. They think that I am the super, what I want, I can do. But he does not, or she does not know that if that is the situation, my relationship is not good. By my aggressiveness, someone may stop, someone may keep silence, but ultimately you are not going to make a very good relation with the others. But if you are in this position, I am okay, you are okay. If you are giving much more space to the concerned person also, then your relationship is going to be very, very fruitful. Or that is a healthy position. And that is the expectation in this transaction analysis. So basically, this is a life experience do you have, and based on that, if that is the case, your personality is going to be grown, and you are the perfect, or you are ideal person in the society. So in the same way, in your examination also, see, this kind of situation they can give you, and they can tell that whether this statement to indicate I am okay, or you are okay, or I am okay and you are not okay. If a manager is very rude and they make a story for the 4 or 5 lines, and based on that you have to define what is this. This is the arrogant personality. So like that you have to give the answer. So I am giving only the conceptual background, but again it's based on the question setter, or what kind of questions they are going to set directly. It's available in the question bank, or he is giving some kind of assertion and reason kind of questionnaire. So based on that, you have to decide that which things are important for you. Another one is the strokes. Types of the strokes. आप कुछ समय जो पॉजिटिव कंडीशनल देते हो, हाँ बहुत बढ़िया, आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, well done. So this is the positive conditional. Sometimes the strokes you are giving positive unconditional, means no strings, no condition attached in loving someone. So if that is the case, we say that is a positive unconditional. If a parent love his son or kids, then that's a totally unconditional. But someone, even the parents also, they are doing like this. If you do this, then I will give you the cycle. I will give you the bike. I will give you scooty. Like that, if that is the case, then you are going to handle this kind of strokes. So if that is the case, then how you are going to handle, how you are going to survive in the society. Negative conditional. If something is wrong, you are silly. A negative unconditional, I hate you, means कभी-कभी मुंह पे लोग बोल देते हैं. So that is a negative unconditional. And someone is very polite. Even if they want to give some kind of negative comment also, like that they are doing. So these kind of different strokes are there, and these all are required when you are performing, when you are in any team, when you are a boss, when you are a supervisor. So that time, some persons, they are very rude. So whether you can give some kind of negative conditional or negative unconditional, which kind of personality you are. So like that, these all are the learning point for living in the society. And that's helpful in your survival in the society, your acceptance in the society. So these are the transactional analysis through which you can learn these all important aspects. Another one is the stamps. Stamps is nothing but it's a kind of collection of feeling. Acha feeling hai, I can put as the gold stamps. If negative feeling hai, bad feeling hai, I can take it as a gray stamps. अगर आपके पास ज्यादा गोल्ड स्टैम्प्स है, then you are fit in the society. लेकिन अगर आपके पास ज्यादा ग्रे स्टैम्प्स है, it means you have the bad feelings. Always you are in the pressure. Always सोचा कि भाई वो ऐसा बोला तो मैंने ऐसा क्यों बोला, उसने मुझे ऐसा क्यों बोल दिया. If that is the feeling, it's really difficult to survive in the society. And if you take more gray stamps, then lot of issues, health issues and others may come to you. So please try to see the gold stamps only. Gold stamps means you have to collect your good feeling. You are staying in the hostel for the 4 years, 2 years plus 3 years or 4 years. like that. So if you take these good feelings from the hostel, and definitely whenever you meet after 20 years, that's the same feeling will come. But if you have the bad feeling in the hostel or the colleges, then the gray feelings even after 15 years also, when you see that person, you can turn your head to another side. So if that is the case, the situation may be worse. And that's why a collection of feeling is important in terms of the stamps. So in the transactional analysis, these stamps means your feeling, your gold stamps should be more in comparison to the gray stamps. So maybe in the question it may be asked that if a person is having the gold scheme and gold stamp, so their relationship is much more in the society, less, very less, like the number of questions may be formed and it may be asked in the examination. Time structuring means this is the 6th way people structure their time between birth to the end and death. And these are the withdrawal, the rituals, your pastimes, your activity, your games, your intimacy. So these all increase level of your stakes and risk and the strokes. And this time structuring, whether you want to withdraw from yourself from that place, whether you want to make the more intimacy with the concerned person. So that's all these helpful in the making the relationship and in the making the these aspects. Next is the script. And this script is according to Eric Verne, script is an ongoing program developed in early childhood. And this script, when you are at the 8 year, 10 year, 5 year, so when that time your some kind of perception already formed about your father, your mother, your society, brother, sister, your family, your relationship, your friends, and that is going to be continue for a long period of time. So that is also important, that the grooming your that is very important. So that's generally a life plan decided by the child before age 5 to 6. So that may also be question may be asked, at what time life plan decided by the child, that is age before 5 to 6. And here a drama he or she writes and compelled to leave out maybe positive or negative, that may be parent influence or the culture or subculture of family. So these are the script. A script is an ongoing program developed in early childhood under parental influence, which directs the individual behavior in the most important aspect of his life. The script means your mindset, which you develop in your early years, less than 5 years or less than 6 years. And that is your script. So Eric Verne has given this concept. And for success, your ego state in this way. If that is the case, then you will perform better. You always think about the adult, like adult. Not, if no, then your little professor means the subsequent, and natural child, nurturing parent. So like that, the already ego I have already explained. So this ego state defines if you are thinking in the parental, adult way, then definitely your success is more. And have more open transactions, which I try to convey through your Johari window, in which sensitivity or T group aspect methods of training, where you have to give much more your openness. And also go with the I am okay, you are okay. You go with the positive strokes, you have to collect more gold stamps and give up the gray stamps. You structure your time in the avoidance and such something. All the 7 points I have already enlisted, and this is for the success. It does not mean the personality, the person who is this nurturing parent, they may not be very good, but if their ego state is like this, then definitely they are much more accepted in the society and they are much more successful. And another one is the avoid playing psychological games when the people they are doing, and the number of people they are also do, and that's always in the mind. And you always remember that who is a friend who did psychological games when you were in the class 10, when you were in the graduation, when you were in the post-graduation, like that. If that is the case, then please avoid this kind of things so that your success may be. So this is all about my presentation in front of you, and hope it may be helpful. And right now I can stop share, and if you have any question, then you can ask. Otherwise, what I have to do, that I will share based on this lecture, I will share total 65 questions, Google based questionnaire, and you may have to solve, and you may see your score also, and you can see your answer also. And if already the answer is there when you score, that time automatically reflected which questions are wrong. So the answer may be reflected in the same questionnaire, and that may be beneficial for you. So actually still that around 12:45 time is there. So maybe in the 30 minutes if you do, then you can see. Actually you are a little bit late as per our schedule. It is as from the 10:30 onwards. So I try to finish till 1 o'clock, but I think at least minimum 30 minutes it will take time. So based on that, you can solve, and if any problem is there, so I have already shared my slides, my mail ID also. So if any question is there, then definitely.
Sir, what is micro lab, sir?
What?
In training? Sir, what is micro lab in training?
Actually, micro lab generally we are doing to do a kind of ice breaking session. So why we do ice breaking session? Let us suppose we are conducting one training program, and in that training program throughout the India or throughout from the state, from different districts, if people they are coming, so they are all having their own arena, their own thinking. So when we put them for the 10 days training, 15 days training, 20 days training, so to making more familiar, it takes too much time. As a human being, it's very difficult. In our context also, that the people, they are very shy in nature. Some people, they are very open in nature. And that's why generally trainer, what they do, that this micro lab session they are doing. Micro lab means they are doing the ice breaking. Ice breaking means to make a good relationship for the another 10 days or 20 days, whatever your training program, you may know each other. So for that purpose, they are doing number of exercises. Number of exercises, let us suppose if total 50 participants are there. Please find out all the names. You can find out any name. They can give the introduction like that. Means a kind of giving more familiarity, more relaxation, more enjoyment, so that each persons they can know each other within 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. If let us suppose I conduct this session for 3 hours, so within 3 hours they are very used to, and they can get they can get the idea that what kind of personality you are. It's very difficult in 3 hours, but through the micro lab, the main purpose is जो झिझक कहते हैं ना, उसको खत्म करने के लिए हम लोग जो है वो माइक्रो लैब वो सेशन में रखते हैं. वो एक ट्रेनिंग सेशन है, वो आइस ब्रेकिंग भी आप कह सकते हैं. और द पर्पस इज क्लियर कि आपका जो है एक दूसरे से अच्छे संबंध हो, तो उससे क्या है कि आप अगले 10 दिन तक एक दूसरे टॉपिक पे अच्छे से डिस्कशन कर पाएंगे. आप अपने व्यू को अच्छे से एक्सप्रेस कर पाएंगे यदि आप एक दूसरे को रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं तो. और वही जो हमने टीए में बताया, I am okay, you are okay. If you don't want, if you want to dominate, then the real things or real learning may not be possible. ह्यूमन बीइंग में ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि जब तक आप सामने वाले को रेस्पेक्ट नहीं करेंगे, तब तक जो है आपको रेस्पेक्ट नहीं मिलेगा. So it is very useful that if you want to respect to the other, if you want to respect yourself, you have to respect to the other. If that is the case, then definitely you may get much more familiar. So micro lab basically we can reduce the hesitation because of the number of people who are coming for the training program, they have the different background. So that maybe I may belong from the rural background, I may be female, so I may not be very much interactive, may not be very open-minded. But through this micro lab, I can force it, or the facilitator can force it, so that you may be a little bit more closer, so that it can be, the training can be more easy.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
तो मैं क्या शेयर करूं आपको? हाँ बोलिए, कोई पूछ रहा है कुछ?
Sir, natural child and little professor. Sir, natural child means suppose that my child, and little professor means
लिटिल प्रोफेसर का मतलब है, एक आप लोगों का ग्रुप है क्या?
Yes, sir.
एक मिनट,
हाँ,
ये मैं मैसेज भेज दूं आपके डॉक्टर मनोहर को, so that he can share the link and you can solve the questions. Okay. Yes, natural child और क्या बताया आपने?
सर लिटिल
लिटिल
प्रोफेसर।
प्रोफेसर। नेचुरल चाइल्ड क्या है कि जो आप नेचुरली, जो आप किसी भी छोटे बच्चे को देखते हैं, एक आम बच्चा जो देखते हैं, वो तुरंत जिद करता है, वो कुछ भी देखा है ये मेरे को चाहिए। तो वो जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है वो कई आप कभी आप देखते हो कि इवन एडल्ट दे आर आल्सो डूइंग, इवन समटाइम्स दे आर रीजनली सी मोर फीमेल, दे आर मोर चाइल्डिश अप्रोच। तो नेचुरल चाइल्ड जो आता है, जो नेचुरली जो इस तरह की चीजें होती हैं, वो नेचुरल चाइल्ड में। लेकिन जो लिटिल प्रोफेसर है, इट मींस दे हैव द इमेजिनेशन, दे हैव द क्रिएटिविटी। वो जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है वो जो है वो लिटिल प्रोफेसर्स को कहते हैं। तो इसमें ट्रांजैक्शनल एनालिसिस में क्या है कि इस तरह के डिफरेंट पर्सनालिटी हो सकते हैं, डिफरेंट ईगो स्टेट हो सकते हैं। तो अगर आपके ग्रुप में लिटिल प्रोफेसर्स वाला कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स वाला, ये ओनली एक नेम है, आप इसको समझिए, but the different characteristics which are associated with the little professor, it's like a kind of creativity, a kind of attitude, a kind of that he want to see everything in the proper way, he want to get the solution, he want to serve the society, he want to get much more so that each and everyone can be satisfied, each and everyone can be happy. So that is the criteria for the little professor. सो जब आप अपने सोसाइटी में रह रहे हैं और जब आप किसी रिलेशनशिप को मेंटेन करना चाहते हैं अपने साथ के लोगों के साथ, तो आपको जब अगर आप एडल्ट रूप में आप थिंकिंग करेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली आप समझेंगे, अब मुझे मान लो कि ये चीज बताना है कि आप ये काम करो, लेकिन ये काम करने के लिए आप तैयार नहीं है। लेकिन जब हम उसको जिद के रूप में कहें नहीं आपको ये करना ही है, because this is my I told you sir you have to do it, so the approach what a kind of natural child में जिद आ गया मेरे को कि नहीं तुम्हें करना है, that is I told you so you have to do it, so that is the natural child means हमें जिद हो गया क्योंकि मैंने कहा। लेकिन अगर वो एडल्ट अप्रोच होगा, उसमें कहेंगे अरे यार ये आप करोगे, इस तरह से कॉन्सेप्ट डेवलप करोगे, इस तरह से एक लेक्चर अटेंड करोगे, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आप क्वेश्चन ज्यादा सॉल्व कर पाओगे। अगर ये मेरा अप्रोच रहेगा तो दिस इज ए काइंड ऑफ अप्रोच आई एम गिविंग यू, दैट यू हैव टू गिव सम जस्टिफिकेशन एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट, इफ दैट इज द केस, दैट इज द एडल्ट अप्रोच। इन द सेम वे एवरीथिंग इफ यू थिंक इन द क्रिएटिविटी वे, I want to take the class, but why I will take on the lecture? I will take all the students come out and we try to learn something in the field itself. तो किसी को दौड़ना है, किसी को कूदना है, किसी को खेलना है, but खेलने के बाद ultimately you have to give some kind of result, some kind of result. Okay, so उस तरह का जो अप्रोच हुआ वो मेरा क्रिएटिविटी अप्रोच हुआ, वो मेरा लिटिल प्रोफेसर जाग उठा। वो लिटिल प्रोफेसर जब जाग उठा तो लर्निंग आप में ज्यादा होगी। सो वो जो अप्रोच है, और नेचुरल जो चाइल्ड है वो जिद का, हमेशा ये मिलेगा तो करूंगा, ग्रीडी है, ये दो तो ये करूंगा, तो that's that approach. I think it is clear.
Yes, sir. And the last question, sir. Sensitivity training or T groups. In the T groups, sir, T means sir.
ट्रेनिंग ग्रुप।
Okay, thank you.
इसमें क्या है, टी ग्रुप में और सेंसिटिविटी ट्रेनिंग में, इसमें जब आप टीम के रूप में कोई काम करते हैं तो वहां पर सारे जो आपके टीम मेंबर्स हैं उनका आपको स्ट्रेंथ भी जानना है, वीकनेस भी जानना है, उसके अंदर जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है, जो अंदर में टैलेंट है, उसको भी एक्सप्लोर करना है। ये करने के लिए आपको दिस टाइप ऑफ ओपन एरेना होना चाहिए। ओपन एरेना कहने का मतलब आप उसके बारे में जान पाए। अगर मुझे पता है, सपोज करिए हम लोग 1 साल के लिए एक टीम में काम कर रहे हैं और मुझे आपके बैकग्राउंड के बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं, तो लेकिन आप एक बड़े जिद्दी आदमी हैं, तो आप अगर जिद्दी आदमी हैं और जब आपने जिद पकड़ लिया, उस समय मैं आपको कुछ सजेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू एक्सेप्ट।
Yes, sir.
तो मैं क्या करूंगा, तो टाइम स्ट्रक्चरिंग कर दूंगा, थोड़े दिन के बाद, थोड़े घंटे के बाद, थोड़े मिनट के बाद, आई ट्राई टू कन्विंस यू। If that is the case, then automatically you understand you are reacting and then you will respond also. then you will try to act on also. तो सेंसिटिविटी ट्रेनिंग और टी ग्रुप वाले में क्या करते हैं कि मेनली वी वांट टू क्रिएट द ओपन एरिया, सबके बारे में जानना चाहते हैं, तो जितना आप ज्यादा जानोगे उतना ही स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम होगी. एंड दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई हैव मेंशन द फैमिली. इन द फैमिली ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन नो अबाउट यू. इफ इवन समवन से दैट आपका बच्चा इसने ये किया, लेकिन जब मैं अपने बच्चे को मैं जान रहा हूं, मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ यस उसने किया होगा, या दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ नहीं ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता उसने नहीं किया होगा. Why I am saying by this forceful action that he may did or he may not. The reason is that I know the whole open thing. So that is even the hidden part is also there in this sensitivity training. So everything you have to explore. So 3 parts को तो open किया जा सकता है. जितना आप open करेंगे sensitivity training में उतना ज्यादा आपका chances रहेगा. तो this is also a method through which you can learn a lot. So it's very difficult कि सारे methods को कैसे use करेंगे, but it is in your syllabus, so you have to understand and you have to give the answer. So sensitivity training or T group training group means a team group, you can understand.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Sir,
afternoon.
I have one question. Sir, regarding
Right.
brainstorming sessions, we have there is a 2 sessions, green session and red sessions. In some book, I got, sir, in green sessions, the participants get the opportunity to share their viewpoints.
एक मिनट मैडम, एक मिनट. यस, मैंने लिंक जो है इसमें भी भेज दिया है. आपका क्वेश्चन. यस मैडम, प्लीज गो अहेड.
Okay, sir. In one training method, brainstorming, sir. There is a sir 2 sessions, 2 stages, green session and sir red sessions. In some book, sir, I got in green sessions the participants get the opportunity to share their viewpoints and freely. And sir red sessions, these viewpoints recorded and screening. But in some books, I got opposite, sir. So actually, which is sir correct?
Yes, in my opinion, it is again there are different color combination. Even someone also mentioned this blue also, red, green, and this blue also. So in some literature, it is 7 or 8 also. So it's again depend upon the what I feel that the green is most welcome, and that is the reason why it is mentioned here. So all the ideas we can accept. And in the red session, we have to analyze, we have to make the postmortem of each different ideas. And based on that, you have to select the best one. That's my feeling. That maybe this is the right answer or the right choice.
Yes, sir. This type of questions always come in NET and ARS examinations, sir. So I ask, sir.
Yeah, always it is confused, and one blue is also there. So some people, they are saying that the final selection is the red, and between that process for identifying this is the blue. So like that also some of the books they mention. But what I feel that in the brainstorming, the best generally in our when we are conducting the brainstorming session, we are giving the 3 cards. So in that cards again we are doing in the same way that you can whatever the ideas you have, you can make it, and then in the team itself you can finalize, and then you may come with 1 or 2 solutions, and then finally all the different teams, they may come together and with these different ideas, and then finally we may conclude with one decision or set of the decisions. So that we can do.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Brainstorming में उसी को आप follow करिए मैडम. Green and red.
Okay, sir.
Green is most
Thank you,
welcome,
sir.
और red is postmortem.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Postmortem से आपको idea लग जाएगा कि what we try to do in this postmortem. So all the analysis part, and then finally go with the one part.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any else? If no, then I have already shared this link, and you can total 65 questions are there. You can solve this 65 question, and in the extension again, this is based on again your view. Sometime also it may happen that you may not be agree with the expert, even the question setter also, and your answer is different. But ultimately in the ICR, whatever the question setter they have given the answer, that is the right only. So best way to get the maximum marks is to go with the setter only. So that is the best solution for getting the highest score in your examination, or especially in the competitive examination. So in that way, you may proceed. And some confusion definitely always be there in the social science, and the reason I already mentioned, that's very hairline distinction is in between two choices. So that is we found, and that is the beauty of this social science also. So if your concept is clear, then definitely you may be able to answer it. So मैं अब यहाँ पे I can close because already 1 o'clock. And if any confusion is there, then especially in the context of, otherwise what my plan is that I can give you 30 minutes time and you can solve, and then again we may come back. But right now it is not possible. So I am putting my mail ID. If any confusion is there, then you can ask on this mail ID also. If I can clarify you, so I can do through this mail ID. Alok dot, in between dot is there, alok.education@gmail.com. Okay. So over to our organizers, if they want to say anything, or we may close here. Who is group leader here?
Sir, is not here.
एक मिनट,
Sir is not.
1 minute. Hello. Adak sir. Okay. So I can put you on this this speaker, sir. Now you can speak, sir. I can finish now. So your class teacher, Dr. Manohar, is here, so he can speak. Thank you, sir. Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, your voice is coming, sir.
Yes, sorry, sir. I was unable to join because so I got disconnected. I tried to connect the phone also, but I couldn't connect. So I called you.
Okay, sir. So right now it is I'm already putting on this speaker. So can I thanks here now?
Hello.
I think some problem is there. Anyway, dear students, I can close here, and if any issue is there, then you can ask me on the same mail ID. And with this hope that some of the students, they may come to now. And you know that Bharti, why I am telling this come to now. The reason is that if you come to NAARM, it means you become as an ARS, Agriculture Research Scientist. And for the 3 months training, when you selected for the ARS, that is the place where we train them, and finally after that they may join to any of the ICAR institution. So that is the case. So that is the case. So I may thankful to all of you, and hope you may all benefited from this. And my wishes to all of you that you may qualify for NET as well as the ARS examination, and you may be part of our NAARM family. And this is beneficial for you and me also. So thanks to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sir, audible, sir. Thank you. Now I am closing.
Sir, on behalf of our MPKV Rahuri, I am Kavyasri, MSc second year student. Thank you, sir, for accepting our sir's request and conducting this informative session. And we are very thankful, sir. Thank you for guiding us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavya. Thank you. Now I can skip. Thank you. Bye. All the best.
Thank you, sir.